Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. For updates on sports stories across the globe, we have Aaron Akirijola with us in the studio. Good morning, Aaron.
Hey, good morning to you, Ayo. Good morning to you, Doctor. Good morning to you, Vimba.
Good morning, Aaron.
Yes, yesterday, AB brought the news about the new coach, Chelle. Okay.
Foreign coach, as it was described, or not coach.
Now that's where it gets a little bit dicey because he's actually French Malian. So you just say he's a foreign coach. But we'll get into that in a moment because what we've tried to do today is to try to unpack everything and put it out there. But before we get started, this must be said. A lot of questions have been asked because 6 months ago, the Nigeria Football Federation rejected this man. What changed 6 months later is not a big question. Because he was actually on the table. There were discussions being made, and they said he wasn't good enough. How things flipped overnight, or probably in 6 months, now becomes the big question. But let's find out. Okay, let's get straight into it, trying to break down some of the things that we do know about the man, the contract, and the rest of them. Of course, he was actually born in November. He's about 47 thereabout, and he was actually raised in France by his French father and Malian mother. Of course, during his playing days, he was a central defender, played for some lowly rated clubs, of course, amongst them. Yes, it's true. Lens is the only club that actually has a bit of pedigree amongst the clubs he actually played for in time past. He actually had 5 caps for the Malian national team between 2004 and 2006. He was appointed coach in 2022, and he actually led them to the AFCON, and he was dismissed after the football body felt the results weren't good enough at the end of AFCON 2023 that was played in 2024. So still pressing it further, if we're to move it further. But let's also tell you that, of course, the French Malian coach agreed a short-term contract that covers the 2026 World Cup qualifiers. So he's only on a 10-month contract, as a matter of fact, up until October. That must be said. And his monthly salary is about 50,000. But they are saying that is cheaper than what they were paying the last coach, Jose Pizarro. Jose Pizarro was on relatively, reportedly, 70,000 a month. So he's getting 50,000. But there's a but there because his assistants will be paid $5,000 per month. Yes. Okay, he's bringing the assistants. So Pesero was paying the assistants from his own salary. So I don't know how they work it out, if they can still punch it out for us. So, of course, the new coach will sign a short-term contract to cover the games for the World Cup qualifiers like we spoke about. Majorly, his coaching style, of course, he's known to favor the aerial ability, that's playing through the flanks and actually loading the ball into the box. So let's see if it will favor someone like a Victor Osimhen who likes that kind of service. And he's very fluent in French, fluent in English, and some other African languages. And looking at, if we're to press it further quickly, looking at his backroom staff, we are sure that we're not setting of the names, but he's coming with a goalkeeper trainer, he's coming with a match reader, he's coming with a set-piece specialist. We spoke about flank play and loading into the box. He's coming with a set-piece specialist. Maybe we'll begin to convert some of our dead ball situations, corner kicks and the rest of them. We know that he will be assisted by our Nigerian coaches, the ones that have been there right now, and the ones that are with the Chan team, talking about Ogumodede and also Fidelis Ilechukwu. They've done a fantastic job, I must actually say. And we're hoping that in the future, these men will be given the opportunity to coach the Super Eagles. But yesterday, this man, we had him, Amaju Mevipede, of course, a friend of the house. We actually had him on Newsnight where he spoke about the coach. Let's just take a quick excerpt from this before we wrap it up.
The statistics from Mali. Out of 22 games, he won 14. He drew 3, he drew 4 and won and lost just 3, which shows as an offensive coach. And Nigeria, traditionally, we are an offensive team. So that is technically and automatically and organically preparing for the challenges to come. And one thing I also know that it's not just a coach, it's coming with a retinue of backroom staffing. It's coming with a set-piece specialist, a match reader, and he's coming with also a goalkeeper's coach that I was told. And he's also going to be supported by a retinue of backroom staffing to be provided by the NFF technical department. So it's not just him just like a paramount inter pares, just first among equals. He's like the leader that will streamline and harmonize all their thoughts together in ensuring that we win and we qualify for the World Cup. It's going to be a tough call. I'm not going to tell you that it's going to be easy. It's going to be very, very tough. But I believe he is very, very well prepared for it. He's got a record. And I believe we should believe in him. We should look at the color of his skin. We should look at the content of what he wants to provide.
Finally, because he was announced, I think, Ayo, you were the one that mentioned it yesterday when you spoke about him hyperventilating. Yeah. Let's actually have that particular clip, because that was the clip that probably announced this man to the world, where he was literally... The heat in Ivory Coast was not friendly, but nevertheless, he wasn't playing football. He was just on the sidelines, and he will face the heat because Nigeria, we are hoping we qualify for the World Cup. And to make it clear, some people think this particular move is the NFF showing their hands and saying that we are not ready to go for the World Cup because he packs a lot of inexperience into a job at this level. It can only get better for him. This favors Eric more than it favors Nigeria.
Absolutely. And I think for me, the biggest takeaway is just the lack of consistency. You know, at this point, you would have hoped that we could have figured out the recipe that we need just to maintain a degree of consistency so that once we're on a trajectory, we don't get detoured elsewhere, because each coach comes with their own style, comes with their own nuances and so forth. So this trial and error method is very unfortunate, especially at this very late stage. I mean, now he's got a 6-month contract, so in 6 months, if they don't qualify, that means he's out. The next guy is in.
If he doesn't qualify Nigeria for the World Cup, someone else will be taking us to the Nations Cup in December, 2 months later.
Which speaks to the same point of inconsistency. So what will you achieve? You know, let's make our bed somewhere and lay in it.
All right.
Not your football. You need to tomorrow. We need results. And that is where, yesterday I said that, I was saying, he's coming at a very difficult time.
Yes, it.
I don't know what I'm going to say to him. I don't know if I should say congratulations or man. Because Nigerians are generally impatient, just as with many people. Football is such an emotive, passionate game that people are not waiting to see growth and development.
No, not at this point.
We want to see results. And of course, one of the main results he has to show is for us to qualify for the World Cup. Unfortunately, he's coming right towards the tail end of this campaign. So he wouldn't really be held responsible fully for the fact that we have not qualified, even though it will now be he who will take the blame at the end of the day. But beyond that, they say the Malians are upset that we took their coach, that, there's a war on social media between Nigerians and Malians.
There is a game that has been played to try to sell this man to Nigerians.
Okay.
So they're some
people
believe that they are hyping him that way. I don't think that story has got a lot of gravitas to it. I can tell you for fact.
Right.
Very quickly, Eric Chelle. Now, his appointment came to many Nigerians as some kind of surprise because they probably didn't see it coming. And the questions that the people who are debating his choice are bringing up is, well, why not a Nigerian coach? If you are going to take a non-Nigerian African coach, don't we have coaches that are even better than Eric Chelle in Nigeria? That's one question. The second thing is that people have been asking how much will he be paid. Well, you've clarified that now, but I raised a poster yesterday that I hope that we're not going to face the same kind of situation, typical Nigerian fashion, whereby he will not get his allowances as at when due, and we will have issues about he being paid or not. Number three is that, well, he's an African. He's not a foreign coach, and he's familiar with the African style of football. One of the complaints about, foreign coaches is that they don't know African style football. Number four is that he's planning, we're told, or he prefers a 4-3-1-2 formation, in football. And now that's slightly different from the formation that we play. This is a formation that emphasizes the midfield.
Yeah.
And then you have two strikers in front. Maybe you have Victor Boniface and Victor Osimhen.
Yeah.
But what happens to the wingers, like Ademola Lookman?
Yes.
How do they fit into that new formation? However, we will see when he takes up the assignment. Third, training the Super Eagles Team B in the Chan, championship in Tunisia, Kenya, and Uganda, and then qualifying us, as we hope, for the 2026 World Cup. Talking about coaches, Patrick Kluivert, former Barcelona,
superstar.
and Netherlands superstar, has now been appointed the coach for Indonesia. And now his own job too is to take Indonesia for the first time since 1938 to the World Cup. The last time Indonesia went to the World Cup was in 1938 as a colony of Netherlands. So maybe he will be able to do it. But it will be better than Shin, the South Korean coach that has left, because he at least can speak. He will not have communication problems. Most of the players were born in Netherlands, and they naturalized as Indo.
But whether he packs the experience, because first of all, like Mali now, Mali has never qualified for the World Cup. And you're giving the Malian the job to qualify Nigeria for the World Cup. This is unlike the case of probably the late Stephen Okechukwu-Keshi, who had gone to the World Cup and had some understanding and probably went to Togo to do that. Or Emmanuel Amunike, who has time and time again been overlooked. And
Finally,
yes.
The West Ham coach has been sacked for winning only 6 matches out of 22 games. In his first 8 games, he lost, was it 6 of them?
Yeah,
and the owners of the club have said, no, you have done enough. Please go.
No, but David Sullivan and David Gold had, I don't know what they were looking for, because David Moyes gave them stability, gave them trophies, but they wanted something better.
They sacked him yesterday.
Yes.
Former Chelsea boss is likely to come, but, West Ham is 7 points,
just
to relegation zone.
Yeah,
so they had to do something drastic. Thank you very much.
Always a pleasure.
Aaron. Thank you very much indeed. And that's all on today's edition of The Morning Show.